Man, I really want to go to an ESA percentage again as soon as
And
possible.
you are live. Good luck.
Alright, thank you. Okay. Hello everyone, I'm Shonen. I'm going to run Resonance of Fate, probably a game that not many people played. And I have Dinuitary here and Das Pharaoh on commentary. They're gonna help me out a little bit because I cannot play a video game and talk at the same time. it's
Hi
probably...
everyone.
But yeah, time starts as soon as I hit new game in this menu. And okay, if we're ready, this starts in 3, 2, 1, and go. Okay, if you wanna introduce yourself, people.
I am Dinuitary.
I'm the Sphero. We
both know nothing of this game.
Okay, so
The battle system. Go ahead.
yeah, first of all, I'm gonna do a re-equipment change here. I will change basically the submachine gun on Bashiron because of his middle position at the very start, and we're gonna talk about how the game system works and everything. But yeah, go time.
So this game is developed by Sega and Tri-Ace. You might recognize Tri-Ace from games kind of like Star Ocean. If they've done any other games, I don't remember. So this game, the battle system is purely weapon-based. There's two kinds of weapons we'll be using: handguns and machine guns. So if you picture the battle system kind of like Final Fantasy 13 with the stagger system, machine guns will do something called scratch damage. You'll see it with a lot of enemies. Their green hit point bar will turn blue. Scratch damage is temporary damage, and then if you use a handgun, you will turn that temporary damage into permanent damage. So a vast majority of the run is going to be using Vashon with a submachine gun to get scratch damage, and then using either Zephyr or Leanne to deal permanent damage. Each character will gain level ups depending on how often they use a weapon. So the level up route in this game is very, very strict. Zephyr, I believe, uses just strictly the pistol. Leanne will use pistol/grenades to level those up. And then Vashon will be pretty much just majorly the submachine gun, just to create 3 specialized roles.
Yeah, right now
This one is chosen to be the submachine gun wielder because he always starts in the middle of every single map. So it's just more convenient for him to be holding the submachine gun.
Yeah, right now we need 3 drops, and both are energy hex level 1 gray to unlock different parts of the run. That's why I'm doing this fight again. Usually on a run I would reset to get the 3 drops on the same battle, because otherwise this is already a minute of time loss. But yeah, had to pick it up. And yeah, when we were talking about Bashiron, he's the submachine gun wielder just because as default he's the middle position character. Lore-wise, if you wanted to play the game as the lore is told, you probably would use Zephyr as the submachine gun user, because on the lore, Zephyr is introduced as a pretty evil character that fights against Bashiron with a submachine gun, and Bashiron carries this, I think it was the auto handgun. But yeah, as Dain said, these submachine guns are going to deal the most damage, and then we're going to convert that damage with the direct damage. There are 2 different types of direct damage. One is with the handguns and another one is using the grenades. Handguns give multiple hit, but very small direct damage, like 5 or 4 is the numerical value that you're gonna see all the time. Grenades deal more direct damage, but it's only on 1 blow. So depending on what you want, you might want a multiple shot, so you're more likely to end battles.
Yeah, it's the chip damage versus kind of try to nuke them for mortal damage.
Yeah, but the hand grenades are going to be extremely useful later on. For the first couple of chapters, I don't think they are used much, but when they come into play, you'll see just how they can delete stuff real quickly.
Yeah, on chapter, as Pharaoh said, on chapter 4 and 3, they are gonna be very important. Right now, Sapphire and Liane are going to be very powerful by themselves, because from prologue to chapter 4, chapter 4 included, enemies are going to be very low on HP. So we could, if we wanted, we could like just throw hero actions with Sapphire or Liane and end battles right away. Yeah, depending on the rune, that might be worth or not. Okay, so that was the prologue.
That's the prologue. The next chapter starts with a pretty lengthy menu. We are going to sell the healing stuff that we don't need, and then we're going to buy escape hexes. We're going to buy equipment to upgrade our weapons with. The hexes are important because they are cell-based, but let's call them puzzle pieces, and they are the means through which you fill in the overworld map and are actually able to walk on the overworld map. So they are essentially used to progress through the story and the chapters. That's why you have to reset the fight if you can't get enough hexes, because you need them in order to go to the next area.
So here we're doing a upgrade menu, just increasing the weapon's potency, how much scratch damage or real damage it does. These guns, for some reason, can hold just a ridiculous amount of attachments.
For now, it looks like a gun. Soon that will stop being the case.
Yeah, that's a gun. I do not know how Bashiron holds it, but... But yeah, like, it's pretty interesting how accessories build up on the game. Like, we're not buying like more damage or anything. What we're buying is either more speed on charge, more acceleration, or more magazine capacity for bullets. Right now, we got a lot of speed status with the sights, and we got one acceleration accessory that was the barrel. And then, of course, the magazines are going to increase our total bullet shot. So we got a little bit of everything there, just optimizing all the money we have.
Mm-hmm. And this upgrade menu will carry us throughout most of early game.
Yeah, indeed. Until chapter 5, we're not gonna do anything with our equipment. Like, if you're interested into looking at some crazy menus with the guns, you can look into, like, you can search on Google Resonance of Fate, accessories, equipment, and you can see a full display of like what people do. Pretty fun.
So we're almost done with the setup for early game, and now we just need to actually finish this mission. The lore for this game for now is essentially Vacheron, Liane, and Zephyr are 3 mercenaries who are trying to make ends meet, and they're just getting certain missions from whoever gives them stuff to do in order to get some more money. And right now we are going towards the very first mission of the game.
Yeah, the customizations are not displayed on the rooms. I wish they did. It would be pretty funny. But yeah. Okay, no encounters for now. That's very nice. Also, these hero actions, we were not talking about them. The most powerful ability from every character is called a hero action, or HA as abbreviation. Oh, I didn't get this. Oh, it didn't matter. Perfect. During those dashes, our characters are going to move faster and they are invulnerable to any type of damage. So there are cases where we're going to wait for enemies to start shooting and then throw that hero action, just because we're not gonna waste time at like taking the enemy animation. But yeah, those cases are pretty specific. Also, we can jump in between. When you jump, you're not guaranteed to hit the place that you're like aiming. Basically, Jumping is great when you're aiming for the main body, but there are a lot of barriers in between. Like putting it pretty simple. Okay.
So as you can see, Vacheron did scratch damage on almost every single one of these enemies, and now Liane is just going to pick them off one at a time.
Yeah, you can see right now how powerful Liane is at this point. She's literally... well, she missed a lot of bullets, but... she could single-handedly deal with the fight, but it's faster to just use Vacheron at the very beginning.
So the hero action is essentially an invincible dash that the characters can do towards any direction. You can jump during the hero action, and you can also pick you can also adjust how many bullets and what's the attack power you want your next move to have during the hero action. Using a hero action, we'll use 1 ruby on the bottom of the screen. Killing an enemy refreshes a ruby, and clearing a room gives you all the rubies back. As you progress through the game, you will get more rubies and therefore more hero actions to use.
Yeah, also breaking a barrier on any enemy also gives us 1 ruby back too. We will do that quite a bit. And this strat actually is 1 day old. I just thought about it yesterday. I will...
And this is the boss of chapter 1, essentially.
Okay, let's see if it works. Yeah, perfect. Okay, we'll talk about it on the way back. This is our first 3 attack on the game, by the way.
You want to talk about a bit about try attack then?
Just taking out the trash.
I'll give it a shot. So you can
I
have...
don't fully understand it.
You can choose to have 1 character attack in a solid fluid action, or you can choose to have more than 1 character. So what you can do is, you'll see this a lot later on. I don't remember too much about the early game, but you can have Vash do scratch damage, and then immediately after have Zephyr Liane do permanent damage with the handguns. So it's... in the beginning part, we kind of just want to focus large majority on doing scratch damage first, where some enemies, especially after we upgrade the gun to the Omega Cannon, it's just very easy and efficient to swap between the characters in 1 solid action instead of taking 2 separate actions.
Yeah. Yeah, there are major differences in between the PS3 and the PC version. Actually, the PC version doesn't even have a leaderboard. It's not very... people have not paid attention to that, but basically the difference is in between AI. Enemies target your characters in a different way.
I don't understand combat at all. Help me out. So there's scratch damage. We'll go through this again. There's scratch damage and there's permanent damage. Submachine guns do scratch damage, which is temporary damage. Handguns will do red damage or permanent damage. So what we have to do is we have to do scratch damage first for temporary damage, and then the handguns will turn that temporary damage into permanent damage. So basically submachine gun until their hit point bar turns all blue, and then use a handgun to deplete the hit point bar.
Yeah. Okay, so about the strat that I did on chapter 1, that I said that was 1 day old, basically what we were doing before was jumping on the Tarman and shooting 3 times to fill the whole ring that we wanted to break. I changed it yesterday because I realized that we could like wait for the whole hero action on the ground, which is faster, and just shoot at the very end, so we hit the barrier that we want to break. Because while jumping, we also were hitting the barrier on the arm, and I've had the experience that sometimes Sapphire breaks that arm, and that means that it's the Tarman is going to retarget to Bashiron. And that's terrible because, as you could see, we were shooting to its back. And like, on the other way, we would have Bashiron being target, and therefore we would not be able to shoot to the back. So yeah, it works much better. I totally realized yesterday we could do that. So we're saving 2 shots, 1 animation that is shorter, and getting a more consistent battle is super good. Each extra shot costs like 3 seconds. Yeah, pretty much around that 10 seconds of time save, which is one encounter.
Yeah, this game is the epitome of when in doubt, gun. Yeah, you can think about it as Dissidia for sure. With the bravery damage and then the HP damage.
Hands dirty.
Maybe, but we aren't.
Except here the bravery damage is the scratch damage and then HP damage is the permanent damage from the handguns.
Also, we were talking about the 3 attacks before. I throw one before, so basically when you're performing a hero action, in between the other 2 characters you can see on top of Bashiron names the resonance stocks. So when you perform one of those hero actions in between, you get 1 stock. As soon as you hit 1, you can perform a 3 attack. Because of only having 1 stock, you're only gonna be able to reach your first character next to the other 1 position. So for example, if I do a 3 attack from Bashiron and the next character is going to be Zephyr and the next one Liane, I'm only going to be able to reach Zephyr. Sometimes it's just enough to only have 1 stock. We don't really need to accumulate a lot of them to make things work. And it's very good because you're skipping a lot of enemies' animations and attacks, and you can end battles with that 3 attack.
And it's interesting that your characters are also susceptible to this type of damage. So you can see on Bashiron and Zephyr's HP, they also have blue damage and green damage. So the battle system works exactly the same way, both to the enemies and to you. And if they can full scratch you, I think your condition is critical, and then if they kill one of your characters, then you have to retry the fight, which is very painful and very slow. Not only because of the time loss, of course, but also because retrying costs money, costs rubies, and you need them in order to buy certain things later on.
Yeah, about the critical condition, what Ferus said is right. What happens is, like, when we are out of HP, we're gonna lose rubies, and depending on our level. So if we lose as many rubies as we would be out of them, we're going to reach that critical status. So right now, because of only having 3 rubies, we are very likely to get into critical status if that happened.
So this is the boss of chapter 3.
So if you look at
Go ahead, Dine.
if you look at the bottom of the boss, you'll see a couple of the circles are blue, and then we just turn that into red damage. Even though the actual boss's like hit point bar itself isn't taking damage, you can see we're still dealing that temporary damage over and over again. Some bosses will have like I don't know if it's phases or like HP thresholds, where sometimes it's not just one solid hit point bar. Sometimes that hit point bar is divided into 2 or 3 sections. So you'll have to deal damage to the first section before you can get access to like the second and third section, via like different parts of the body or armor or other mechanics like that.
Yeah, so that fight also is one of the first big difference in between the PS3 and the PC port. So as you could see, when I just jumped with Liane, I could break the back scratch damage that Bashiron dealt. On PC that's different, you're not breaking the back, you're breaking one of the sides. So that totally changes the AI behavior and how it's gonna spin. So yeah, that fight, for example, would be probably slower.
And that's the end of chapter 3.
Yeah, chapter 3 just start right now. We're going to equip the hand grenades, and it's the first chapter when we're going to start using them. They are pretty powerful. But first we have to go to the top floors. Also, another thing, you could see that I was getting encounters on the bottom floors. That doesn't happen from level 1 upwards. Like level 2 doesn't happen also. That's because of how the map works with the cells. Like these cells are true fair, so on those cells you're not going to get encounters at all.
If you look at the bottom of the screen where it has descriptions when you're walking through some alleyways, the descriptions will tell you if it's a low encounter zone or a medium encounter zone or a high encounter zone. Generally, if it says it's unsafe, it's a high encounter zone. You'll see shonen sometimes taking unoptimal pathing. A lot of the time, that's just to avoid those high encounter zone areas. So it's like anything else. Extra encounters will just bleed you time over the course of the run. Where losing half a second or 3/4 of a second to skip the tiles is much better than wasting 15-20 seconds in an encounter.
Yeah.
Yeah, even though escaping encounters is mostly trivial, you will spawn either right next to the barrier that ends the room with the encounter, or you can just use an escape hacks to get away. You're still gonna bleed time from those random encounters.
Also talking about the digital version of this game, shoutouts to this game because just because of having the physical edition, I could get the digital edition for free. Like there's a menu.
Oh, wow.
Like there's a menu at the very start where it says data download, and you can basically get the digital version for free. Like big shoutouts to Sega, thank you. Like I think it's the first game when I can do that. Like Final Fantasy 13, 2, and Alara, I had to buy them twice.
Yeah.
Feels bad, man.
The battle system in this game greatly confused me for the longest time, like watching shonen do runs of this, and I just couldn't understand it. It would just be like pew, 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 and then explosion. Michael Bay would take over, and either the reset button would be hit or would progress.
Yep.
But like, the battle system seems, as like an outsider, I don't run this game, but it seems very, very simplistic once you understand why everything happens, the reason it happens.
It's
like
very easy to be mesmerized by all the gun fu that's going on. That's for sure.
Yeah.
This game also does have a New Game Plus feature, I believe.
Yeah, there's a hard mode where you can go to Neverland. It's the most difficult dungeon on the game.
There is also like a bunch of additional side stuff. We won't be doing it in the run. But there's a lot of additional areas you can go visit for equipment or dolls or gems or really whatever.
Hundo runs when?
When there's a category.
level 300 run when.
When there's a category. How about that? There's literally any percent and 10 people run the game for a head.
So you can see with the grenade damage on how it's dealing direct damage, so we don't need scratch, and it's also an area of effect.
Yeah, they're insanely powerful.
Yeah.
There is also different kinds of grenades and ammunition. So shonen sometimes will be switching between like incendiary or inferno grenades, depending on what the enemy is. Inferno grenades will also deal scratch damage over time per second. I believe the last boss abuses this for free scratch damage.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's quite powerful on that fight.
Yeah, on chapter 5 we're gonna see on level 1 when we are going to start tracing the terminal that we have to attach to get that powerful damage. We get a 2x multiplier, but we will talk about that on the late game. A lot of game to go through still.
Yeah, a lot of the battle mechanics is just getting your characters to run in a certain spot where you either manipulate enemies to line up or easier damage, where they don't end up targeting your opponents or your allies. If you look to the right of each individual enemy's hit point bar, there's a little small empty space. You'll see on a couple, you'll see ZZ. That means they're targeting Zephyr, and when it goes red, they're ready to actually do an action. The AI is kinda in targeting, it's a little clumsy
Yeah, I could do without the friendly fire.
because like they don't instantly attack. They have to target someone and then buy them a wedding ring and then commit to it. They just don't jump in and go for it. So you'll see a lot of it. A lot of it is just pathing. There are a couple of times when Leanne's doing movements like that, she can't get attacked. Same thing with when they're doing jumping. A lot of it is just going through the sub areas and then needing to burst down as many enemies as you need. Either if it's multiple to finish the quest objectives, or in this case, just nuke down Buddy Bot here and go on with life.
These mannequins are extremely creepy.
Yeah, it's all Dark Damage fault though. Okay, sadly I got targeted on Sapphire and I couldn't get a stun percent, so yeah, he's gonna get the slowdown. That's
So
pretty
here
unlucky.
we see him losing some body parts.
This animation is slower because of that, but it's okay.
Yeah, we're done with the rear. Now we just need to kill the boss proper.
Okay,
The
nice.
story for this game is rather simple, to my understanding, but it has the story itself is simple, but it has some very dark and food for thought themes for sure, like human experimentation.
Yeah. Like, basically the game is mostly focused on Liane. She's experiment number 20 from Sullivan when he was trying to mess around with Zenith, who is supposed to be the god of this world. And basically he was messing around with that to try to get immortality like Rebecca. Rebecca got immortality, for what I understand, in a different way, because of being exposed to the outside world from Basel. I'm not reaching this, by the way. Oh, that's pretty slow. Yeah, because I'm not reaching the gate.
Oh, I'm so close.
We'll see who has the last laugh.
Worst case scenario with this one, sadly. But it's okay. Mom said the important thing was to participate.
We're done with the boss of this chapter, so we're done with the mission. We just need to get back to the base, and we can move on to the next chapter.
Yeah,
You can also, the damage multipliers, like you'll see attack damage times 3.2, 4.4, whatever. That also goes up with the higher level you get, or hero gauge. So the more we get through the game, the more and more of a damage multiplier we'll end up getting.
Yeah. That's especially important with the submachine gun, because the multiplier on the handgun is only going to be a gauge percent break, which can stun enemies. Which is good though,
Yeah, like,
but...
The machine gun ends up being like 25 times near the end or something like that.
Yeah, indeed. Exactly. Thank you, Kaya. Thank you for the raid.
Yeah, so each character also has a weight limit. The weight limit increases via level. So you can't really just create the gun of guns right from the start. Like, all the attachments will add weight to the gun, and you need to work around that.
I like it. It gets messy.
Okay, so...
The drops, some of the drops we need. Go ahead.
No, they're just gonna say that another room where Liane is literally Pega and kills everything.
Oh yeah. Just shoot grenades like a monkey.
Yeah, pretty much.
So there is some RNG, whether it's the characters actually hit their target. Sometimes they just don't know how to shoot giant targets. Drops also play another big thing into this, whether it's the energy hexes to unlock things on the overworld and progress, or to equip our weapons, whether it be like hilts and grips, things like that.
It's not on this chapter, but there are going to be drops on later chapters that are required to complete the run.
I have backup
In
save
order
files, don't worry,
to
people.
create certain bullets.
You cheater. You didn't find a way around it.
Nope.
That was the easy way out.
There's not.
You see how it is.
I promised I'd try it. Okay. I asked the people if there was a backup and they said nope. What do you want me to do? Feels bad.
There's something better than a triple silencer. How about a 6-time silencer? From my understanding, juggling is slightly slower.
Yeah.
It can also mess up a couple of the battle fights. So for the vast majority of the run, we want to avoid launching enemies. Just for the time it takes, the little bit of extra time for there's a little spinning wheel that goes around that you have to click.
Yeah.
Running away with
And
my
cancel.
tail between my legs isn't
And also, it messes around with the camera too when you want to retarget another enemy. So yeah, it can kill some battles. Also, wow, so many encounters inside the forest. That's
Even
pretty
though
fast.
the community is quite small, Shonen's done some work to the route to try to optimize it. But the world record holder, who I completely
Takataka or Takeshi, yeah.
he had a very, very strong world record for this run. Shonen's fairly close to it. I think he's about 35 seconds off.
55 seconds.
All right. Well, look, 35 sounds better.
But yeah, 35.
Yeah. But it's a very, very optimized, very stripped down run of only getting what you absolutely need to.
even if it means our lives.
And only fighting what you absolutely need to.
Yeah.
Worry. She's always wrong when she's worried.
Should I be worried?
No need to worry.
Even though it's a small community, there has been a lot of work put into it.
Like the route that Takeshi went for was more RNG heavy than the one that I'm going for. I changed a lot of things, especially on Basilica in terms of setups, to make the run more consistent and as fast or even faster. I guess that explains why in like around 5 months I got a PB that is close to him. And that's another reason why I guess people didn't pay too much attention to this game. Like I remember the showcase on ESA 18, I think it was. Nev had a very bad time with RNG, so I guess that made people not be too attracted to the run. But yeah, I've changed a lot of things, so the run is more friendly. I encourage everyone to try it out.
How heavy is the RNG in the run? Shonen, I think you should take this question because I'm just going to lie to the children.
What? Sorry, I want to see this. Like, Bashiron, literally, I cannot move him. I've never seen this before.
That was weird.
And I cannot cancel him. Oh my god, what?
Weird.
Soft lock?
No.
Oh, no way. It just soft locked because I canceled Sapphire.
Oh
Can
no.
Oh,
Can
what?
you clear? Can you cancel with Zephyr?
No, I cannot cancel. I cannot even open the menu. Okay, just talked about RNG. Don't worry, people. This is not supposed to happen, okay? Like, I promise. Okay, I'm gonna suspend and I'm gonna reload and let's see what happens. I've never seen this for real. Like, no joke. Man, I just cancelled Sapphire. Why did I do
So
before.
the marathon's luck for soft locks and crashes is very strong. It was not planned by the marathon. It's just a happy little accident.
Yeah. Where am I right now? I have no idea. Okay, that worked. Okay. So see,
Alright.
everything works. It's fine.
Alright.
No RNG.
Back, back to the regularly scheduled program.
Okay. So. Oh wow.
As for the RNG question, I think Shonen would be the most appropriate one to answer because he actually runs the game. As a viewer, I'm just like, I don't understand anything. I just like the explosions.
Yeah, like.
I just like watching them throw grenades.
Like after running 13.2 and LR, I definitely think LR is worse, and it's somehow similar to 13.2. Slightly better than 13.2, I would say.
Or does the Cardinal have some
How many big RNG segments are there in terms of either getting the drops you need to succeed or just certain boss battles?
So there's
Like
chapter.
if someone
Yeah, there's chapter 4 right now. These 2 rooms that I just finished are pretty
I
RNG heavy.
love this room. You move a barrel with Vesher on it, just blow up everything.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't talk about that either. Like, that setup so dumb. Exactly, you just move one barrel with Zephyr and they shoot missiles and they kill themselves. And that's the setup. It's probably the silliest one on the whole run. But yeah, like, RNG heavy, chapter 4 because of encounters, 3 because of encounters and can be pretty bad. 5 too. 7 relies on drops, and I think after that, just Basilica, which is the end game. So I don't think it's too bad. You can definitely complete a lot of runs.
And for this one, you're also just gonna shoot the barrel and kill everything.
Arrow is best ally.
It's gonna be fun because there's actually one fake barrel during the
And
run.
for the boss, it's just another scary ass mannequin.
Once again.
This one should die a little faster though.
Yeah, it's like the weaker version of the previous chapter, Canigula. Oh my god, that softlock was so silly. Like, I swear to God, I've never seen that.
I also
yeah,
managed to soft it yesterday.
Very nice.
Not on this day though.
Yeah. Okay, so there we get another ruby for hero actioning.
And with that, we're just gonna leave this area, go back to the base, and go onwards to the next chapter.
Yeah, to chapter 5. There we're going to start unlocking the terminal that we were talking about before, where we're gonna get a very nice passive ability for Basilica on chapter 16. Damn, I lost a lot of time on
We
that.
talk about Basilica a lot. Basilica is essentially the final dungeon. It's a huge fight gauntlet with a lot of scary bosses.
Yeah. Pretty RNG heavy too, because we rely on getting the incendiary passives to deal scratch damage per time.
Blowing on the cartridge is bad. That's how you create rust. And the N64 had a label on the back of the cart where it said "Do not blow or touch contacts," and I think it's the most ignored warning label in existence.
Totally.
I think I'm guilty.
I
We're
am.
all guilty. I didn't learn about it until 20 minutes ago when I posted it in Shonen's Discord.
Yeah, my reaction was, oh my god, that's not true.
But for a large chunk of the battle system, it is very, very rinse and repeat. Pretty much like any other RPG game. Scratch damage and then pistols for permanent damage. We will be doing a upgrade menu.
Yeah, when we unlock Crankdown, it's like we have to do some puzzling thing, so
Do a little bit of the hexes.
yeah.
Since we're here, in order for you to be able to unlock the colored hexes on the floor, you need to use a hex in your inventory of the same color. We obtained this throughout the course of the run.
Yeah, either from battles or these chests that we unlock. As you can see, like we're trying to avoid the chests that we do not need. Like the ones that we pick are necessary for hexes and unlock the overworld pretty much, or getting a specific type of ballets. That will happen on chapter 7. Yeah, right now we're going to start unlocking the terminal that we were talking about before. We're going to use red hex level 1 for this because we have a lot of them. And we're gonna go up until Basilica, right there. Already in chapter 5. Very important to not forget about placing another red one on chapter 13. I've done that, and I've killed rounds because of it. Otherwise you are losing that 2 times multiplier.
There are very detailed maps on GameFAQs for the overworld.
Yeah, I think that's the
Is-
best resource the wiki has too. Like, it tells you about the chests on the overworld and everything.
There's also a very good walkthrough guide written for the PlayStation 3 or the Xbox 360 version.
Oh, is there?
'Cause I would definitely be the person that would try to cover every square on the world map if I played this casually.
Oh yeah, of course.
It'd be like Pokemon, gotta collect them all. I don't care if I need it. I want to go into the boss with 12 mega elixirs.
Totally agree.
And never use them.
Yep. It's the Chrono
You
Trigger
might
syndrome.
need them for later.
I might need them when I'm level 300 and, and completely maxed out.
Also, there's a fun video on YouTube, like, the Sullivan and Rebecca battle is the hardest on the game. It's on Neverland. And there's a guy that did a no damage fight with that. It's pretty fun because everyone is level 13, like 300, sorry. And you're getting a stun passives all the time, so they cannot move. But yeah. There are some silly things if you want to do that. Also, you can customize your character. Like, you can equip different skins. I had teddy bears on only aim casually.
Isn't there like a couple of the side areas? Can't you also get different fashion equipments?
Yeah.
For the characters?
Yep. Also, there are chests around that we do not pick. Actually, we pick one right now that are accessories, and we could equip them. But yeah, to equip them, we will have to deroute quite a bit.
A lot of this game is like just going back and forth between areas.
Oh,
if
yeah.
you're trying to do it like optimally.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice. Like the filler content's kind of fun.
There was a way for teleport. Man, I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
we could save like an hour on the run, probably.
Yeah, all these energy hex placements, like we're saying, are very precise. If I think there's very little room if you end up putting down. It also depends on the hex size as well, and your drops obviously. But a lot of times, like putting something in a wrong spot is bad news bears.
Yeah. There's been times where I had runs that died on chapter 7 because of not having enough drops. Also, fun enough, I messed up on chapter 3, but I didn't say anything.
Nope, no, it was perfect in my eyes.
Yeah, I know.
It's a very different concept to a game. I don't really know how to. I don't know another game that kind of mimics this kind of play style.
Yeah, it's very unique. I think that's the thing that attracted me the most to starting, like, to play it casually and to start running it.
You got it. I'll take it apart.
Okay, we're gonna scrap these bone crystals. Oh, we didn't get good drops here. Huh.
So here we're just scrapping stuff for either items or money.
Thanks. The roads are dangerous.
Okay, I'm not gonna pick 11.
Anything you bring in.
And you can only upgrade in towns in certain areas.
Okay, 40, perfect. Only 10. Man, oof. God bless I didn't buy that extra escape hex, it could have been really bad. Okay, never mind.
So if you're a big fan of barrels and sights,
This is your place.
yes.
How many sites
many-
do you want?
How many barrels would you like? Yes.
Yep.
The funny thing is, like, you can make the guns look quite just ridiculous. So you'll see X's, circles, and lines when he's modifying his weapons. The typical X has to go with X, circle has to meet with circle,
We're gonna need some large
line has to meet with line. The game will give you an error
Don't worry.
if you try to put a line with a circle.
Hands down.
Yeah. Okay.
And all the barrels just increase scratch damage, I believe, accuracy and speed.
Speed acceleration. Sights increase the speed and and the barrels increase the acceleration. You're not getting
okay.
damage increases on multipliers or anything that's level related, but it's pretty important to get good speed and acceleration to be able to reach those. It's pretty different the way the equipment works. Like, you're not getting directly any type of like damage upgrade. It's a matter of speed.
Best to go with what you know.
And the further you are away from the enemy, the circle, it takes longer for the circle to grow for damage increase.
Yeah.
So like this red circle that's going around, you'll see it slowly starting to slow down the further and further he gets from the enemy. So it's a very risk-verse reward where the closer to the enemy, the faster you can stack the multipliers. But if something goes wrong or something goes slightly off script, they're also very close for them just to clobber you.
Okay, so here is one of my favorite rooms. You will see right now if it works well.
Here.
If it works poorly, I do not like it.
I'll be okay if I keep moving.
Okay, so it's a 5 multiplier on the dogs and at least a 6 on the goods right there.
And there you can kind of see the camera just playing a little wonky with the targeting.
Yeah, sometimes that happens and it's pretty annoying.
The camera will always try to picture both the gunner and the enemy they're aiming. It can get a little tricky sometimes.
Okay, now I want to target the dog.
No, leave the puppers alone.
Nope.
So there you see for a brief instance, the enemy got airborne, and you'll see the little swirly animation. That's what I'm talking about. Like it's only a couple of seconds each time, but if you get too many of them, it can definitely just bleed you small amounts of time.
Okay, this one is going to be great. Okay, that was a good battle. So you can see
looks
how
like it was a pretty clean room. Yeah, very nice.
you can see how powerful
And
the 3
next-
attacks are.
For the next room, we're just going to hero action and get out.
Beats sitting around at home all day.
I don't know what you're talking about. All my guns have 8+ barrels. I don't touch a gun if it doesn't have more than 5 barrels. It's not worth my time. Why kill something slowly when you can shoot it 8,000 times?
Also here you can see that we're replanting our rubies by breaking one barrier.
Freezer.
It's pretty important, otherwise we would be on critical status. This one is pretty annoying to break though. Okay, there we go.
If you use a hero action on an empty room, you don't use rubies, but
Oh, we should have brought you a
I think you always need to have at least one.
Yeah, the thing is that when you clear one room, you're going to get all your rubies back.
spoiled to
So yeah, you can hero action on empty rooms for free. No problem at all.
How come you're the only one who
Since there are no enemies, you do not get anyone to.
Don't go catching a cold on me.
The hero action do not consume anything.
Cat knows what's going on.
That was good.
For this final room, we actually need to kill these guys in order to progress.
Yeah.
I really like these elephant-type robots. Makes me sad that we need to kill them.
Yeah.
Just like helpers.
I'm forced to do so, Pharaoh, I'm sorry.
You're not sorry.
Yeah, I'm not.
Oh no. No cookies for you.
It's Batman. Okay, we freed ya. This is by far my favorite room on the whole round. We're killing a lot of things on a 3 attack, you will see. That animation change is something that I do not usually... Oh, nice. Very nice.
So here we just seen a happy little accident.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So we're just gonna use the erase command and try it again.
Yeah.
There.
I moved slightly with Zephyr, so I lost one resonance stock. That's why I needed to retry. Butterfingers. I blame it on being on a marathon, Kappa.
We did a slight equipment adjustment. We gave Liane the 8 kit, so now she's going to be the one that escapes from fights. And also get a handgun on Liane.
Yeah.
That's why she's the one who is doing permanent damage instead of Zephyr now.
Kind of nice because all three characters, like Bashan or Vacheron, is kind of like the character you'll use the most, just because of the scratch damage. But Liane and Zephyr both get used equally. It's nice that all three people get used instead of having like two characters, then one person just kind of sit on the sideline.
Okay, that was good. You can see also that in between the three attacks you can switch characters depending on what you want to do. It's really cool.
We're gonna need some luck to win this.
That's not very
We're like
encouraging.
7 chapters away from the best chapter.
Yes,
Oh yeah, best chapter.
by far.
You're hard to miss.
Also level 54 Jerry, by the way.
And we're what, level 11 and 13?
Yeah.
But chapter 11 and 13, that's the worst chapter. Oh wait,
No.
no, that's chapter 4. Oh wait, no, that's chapter 1. All chapters are worst chapters in 13.
Okay, so back
We've
to
been going pretty smooth. We had that one little hiccup where Zephyr decided to consult the union and take a day off work.
Yeah. It's Sunday. I understand it.
He deserves it. It's
Yeah.
Father's Day.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, Papa.
BRB 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'm gonna mute myself.
I remember watching Shonen play this game casually before he started doing the speed run, and he was definitely having a pretty hard time with it. But like watching the speed run, it's always kind of satisfying on how just the right weapon combination just makes everything very, very easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also a difference of just not knowing anything and then just going in with a complete plan as well.
Yeah, also like casually I did not use my bullets at all. Like I wanted to keep all my resources as a good
Yeah.
RPG casual.
Yeah.
and yeah, it's quite a big difference to be using a Hollow Points Plus to just be using the gun like raw out of the scrap. But yeah.
These games that have that are infamous for being very, very hard also tend to have that very specific setup that works like a charm.
Okay, so chapter 6, it's interesting. Right now because it's Sunday, day off, and we're going to change outfit on Zephyr. Is the only time we're gonna do that, and this outfit is terrible. Like I dislike it at all. Look at this. Yeah, not a nice t-shirt.
Yeah.
Well, maybe if you did more side quests, you could afford him a better t-shirt.
True enough.
What is the reason behind switching t-shirts?
So the reason is because we're gonna get one secondary mission right now. Literally right now. It's a Garigliano museum again. The same guy that had all these mannequins and he wanted mannequin parts on chapter 3. Yeah, the same guy. Pretty annoying, I know. So we're gonna get it, and the reason because of getting it is because we're gonna get a very powerful magazine. It's called the MG Drum magazine. It's gonna give us instability on our submachine gun, which is bad, of course, but it's going to give us a plus 15 gun, like shoot capacity. Bullets, rather, yeah.
Oh, cartridge magazine.
Exactly.
Pick a target, kill, repeat.
So yeah, we have to do that. I've tried to cut this because it's really slow, like going from this level to Garigliano. This magazine is available on Albona, where we're going to go on chapter 7, but it's only available from chapter 8 onwards. So we could buy it, but we will need to go from Basel to Albona, which is even farther away.
One of those things too, it's so early in the run, I'd assume, where there's also so many battles, so it just ends up paying for itself quite a bit over the next
Yeah, totally.
10 chapters in the game.
Yeah.
You definitely need it for Basilica, like that's for sure. Like you're getting a higher probability to get the incendiary passive because of just having more bullets. Like there's a probability where that passive is gonna pop depending on how much time you shoot. Yeah, here we're gonna go to Carigliano. And we're gonna equip it right away.
Thankfully, it's a very short and simple fight.
Yeah.
Do you think me beautiful?
What's the difference between PS3 and PC? Frame rate and the way RNG influences things. PC runs at 60 frames, which a lot of the times when you're turning a 60 or a 30-ish frame per second game into 60, there's also going to be lack of lag reduction as well.
Yeah, there are many fights where the AI is going to behave differently, and the game category is not even available on speedrun.com because
I think it's just no one's done the work to try to make a PC route.
Yeah, exactly. Like you cannot pick this PS3 run and drop it on PC because enemies are going to behave differently, basically.
And the game in general just behaves different.
The menu is also different. Funny enough, like when you're buying, you can press the triggers and you're going to get a 10 times item. That's not possible on PC for what I know. I know that Riffraff, he's another runner, tried to get a route going and he realized he couldn't do that. I don't know why they changed, it's pretty weird.
The atmosphere of this game is definitely unique, this cyberpunk, and the story really fits in with the world they created here.
Does mean not necessarily silver. It doesn't mean PC is better or PS3 is better than PC. PS3 has definitely had the most work done to it. Where if someone sat down and routed out a route for PC, it could be better, it could be worse. It's in that spot where no one really knows.
Yeah, exactly.
Because of like the lack of lag and a faster frame rate, it could speed up things quite a bit. And if there is a couple of downsides like Shona was mentioning, those things could make up for it. On the other hand, just because it could make the AI so unpredictable that you no longer have a fairly to majority consistent run into just an RNG. It's one of those things you really don't know until someone puts the work in.
In this room, we use pretty much all of our rubies to full scratch everyone and keep one for Zephyr to be able to use this hero action to kill every single enemy.
Yeah, you can see right there how powerful Bashiron is right now. Gets a very big power spike on. That's annoying. I had
a
one.
lot of rando encounters.
Yeah.
I had one before the barrage and one after. That's pretty annoying because I start with the handgun equipped, so I need to change to the escape hex twice. That's like getting another one. Those are seconds that accumulate quite a lot.
Come on, don't jam on me now.
For now, all these fights, we are just going to do the same thing we did on the previous chapter. Pick an enemy to break the barrier in order to get already refunded, and then just hero action out of here.
Yeah. Since these rooms are opened, we do not have to waste time on battles again.
You're gonna work off what you drank.
Yes,
When
sir.
getting their last second pot shots off.
They're certainly spirited.
Not getting away without the back scratch.
My house. Why does this always happen
That
when we're
bot
in a
wants your
hurry?
booty.
No use complaining.
Yeah,
We'll take
it
them down
does.
like we always do.
I like complaining.
So even though you don't have Liane, you have to use Zephyr as your damage dealer. This is a simple chapter.
Also, it's nice that these guys are getting launched because I'm skipping the...
Hey, snap out of it. The enemy's right in front of you.
Sorry, it's not like
And
me.
Keep your head down. and
game
your
is
eyes
not
forward.
being kind.
That's the quickest
No,
way.
and to be honest, it's giving me quite a lot of
Away
weight.
with my tail between my legs.
Also, as a curiosity, I think I didn't mention it. As you can see, I'm not hero like escape hexing these encounters. That's because the escape hexes are gonna put you into the overworld when you're inside the dungeon. Right now, we're inside the Silver Canyon, so using escape hex right now it would be a terrible idea, but because we will have to do all what we have done right now again to get to the same point.
Uh-oh. If Asheron catches a cold, we'll have to close shop.
And you can see on the upper left hand or right hand corner, I know directions, I swear. You can also see how many areas in the battle we have to go through. So right now we're in the second of the 4 fields. When you get to the last chapter, you can definitely see how big the battle area is. It's just one giant massive conglomeration of rooms and switches.
Yeah. It would be
Yeah,
fun.
it's really quite complicated.
I hope you put up a better fight
It
than
would be
the
nice
last
to
one.
find some kind of escape for those switches. Like, I've tried to mess around with the doors and trying to clip through them, but there's one that I'm suspicious that could work because there's one god hammer there, and I tried to get punched with Bashiron and get to the other side. I got half of the body, but still couldn't get through it. Okay, now we're gonna change positions just because of AI. Okay.
Let's keep this professional.
Yeah, this room is a little more complex. We need to kill all of these enemies, and afterwards is the boss room.
Today this room killed one of my runs.
Again, using almost every single hero action for Vacheron to full scratch everything, and then just use Zephyr to one-shot all of these enemies one at a time.
Okay, could fix it. That guy was supposed to be targeting Zephyr. It was not, so I shot him and it got launched.
Yeah, but once again, if you look to the right of the enemy's hit point bar, there'll be the first initial of each one of the 3 characters, and that is the character they're looking to target. A lot of the movement is to try to manipulate them to target one character over the other, just to keep all the characters safe. If you do take enough scratch damage on your characters, you'll get into critical condition, which is generally just a retry.
Yeah. Sadly, retries in this game cost from 30 seconds to a whole minute. They are quite punishing. The game itself, even casually, it's very punishing.
Yeah, on this one in particular, we are going to move Zephyr to a specific location for him to get targeted, and now we're just going to abuse that fact to let Zephyr to let Vacheron go ham on this guy with the scratch damage.
You can see just how quickly the scratch damage gets generated.
Then I had one extra shot there. I think because of getting full scratch 5% animation made Bashiron get a couple of bullets into the barrier. That can happen on different places and it can be super annoying. Usually I don't want to see the percentages of passives. Like, full scratch is good on normal enemies because I get a full scratch as soon as one bullet hits the main body. But it doesn't work with bosses. That would be pretty broken.
Yeah, escape hex right into the overworld, and we're going back to the base to hand in the mission and complete this chapter.
Mm-hmm. And we're up to the RNG chapter that we were talking about before, chapter 7. We have to get 3 drops, basically. Technically 2, but not getting the other one is also really, really slow. We get Lin back into the group again.
And essentially the whole group will be together from here in until the end. There's going to be a lot of overworld movement on this chapter. We need to go from level 4, which is where our base is, all the way up to level 11. I think there's also a lot of hexes that you're going to need to drop to unlock certain elevators in order to get to these levels.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I wanted to check my numbers there. I got a lot of encounters in this run, so my escape hex counter is pretty low. At least I need one before finishing with mine 24. So yeah, about the drops that we need. We need drops from the hunters. Those are tank enemies. We're gonna fight 3 of them. We need to see 1 scrap missile TK, 1 scrapped arm TK, and at least 1 Vulcan TK. As many Vulcans we get, the better. So, the missile is gonna be used to craft 1 accessory, that is the expanded barrel T. And the arm is going to be used to get the adapter handguard. Both equipped on the submachine gun, of course. The Vulcan TK is going to be scrapped and we're going to get Powder Year Plus, which is great, and then we're gonna get the metal coateds, which are also going to be scrapped in order to get Hollow Points Plus Plus. That's the type of bullet that we're gonna use later. Also, that was the last station that we were going to use during the whole run to abuse the red hexes.
Hopefully no more random encounters.
Yeah, let's see. Also, we're gonna buy escape hex again, just because of getting a lot of encounters in this round.
Coward.
No, you.
Risk it.
Nope.
You don't need them. They're a crutch. To go on is to go forward. To go forward is something.
They are a waste of money. But yeah.
It's nice on the overworld, at least they tell you where like areas and terminals are.
Oh yeah.
Instead of it just throwing you into the deep end blind and being like, well, good luck, have fun. I hope you like farming.
Yeah, that would be pretty terrible. Okay.
Nose to the grindstone. No time to go getting sloppy.
We didn't reset. We did a suspend.
Feels bad, man.
I sliced hairs on this. I'll meet you halfway. It's a semi-crash. We'll call it a 40%.
We got a happy little accident in between, okay?
Yep. We were just showing off what could possibly happen when you hit buttons at the wrong time.
But
Doesn't matter that we just learned about it at that moment. It was beside the point.
Okay, so that's mine 24. No more unlocking. It's time to shoot people down. Oh.
Stop everything up because of AI targeting, give a gun to Liane, and start killing things.
Yeah, and get Bash wrong in the middle again, that's nice too.
I like how Vashon doesn't know about ammo conservation. He's like one target, one clip.
Yeah, no chill.
Going to do one try attack here to kill everyone else.
Try attacks are like one of the more visually interesting things.
You think they learn their...
It's also
Very
kind of
bad.
nice because you can also try to get certain party members closer to the door at the same time.
Yeah, too.
If you're in like a multi-room battle and you need to just keep progressing.
Best to go with what you know.
And then you have these completely empty rooms for no reason.
They shouldn't give us
It's
much
all about the
trouble,
plot.
but don't let them catch you off guard.
What plot?
I don't remember what happened in that room, to be honest.
I was about to say, does something actually happen, or
No, I actually think they are just, okay, we're in the mine, let's go.
are they just kind of like, hey, look, we finally got a day off?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, they're talking about the quartz and, like... This mine is where the quartz from the people of Basel are located, and they are trying to look for Liane's quartz.
Stars.
Swimming in
To
a
kill her,
sea
haha,
of
nice.
stars drown if you keep forgetting about
Yeah,
the
experiment number 20 is basically a proof that God does not
Care
exist.
of those guys?
Sure.
So the cardinals... There are some group of cardinals that are trying to kill Liane. There are others like Barbarella that do not really care.
Maybe as good a time as any to talk a little about the story. So in this world, lifespan is determined by something called quartz, which theoretically should be controlled by God. The prelate of Basel is the person in charge of the person in charge of the religious church in this world. Keeping the faith of humanity in God, which they believe to be correlated with the lifespan of each person. So if a person believes in God, they will live longer, essentially. The current prelate died, and there's a man also part of the church called Sullivan, who met a person who was able to survive outside of the city called Rebecca, which essentially made her immortal, but also demonic. He told this to the next prelate, and he also revealed to him the truth that God doesn't actually exist. What controls the lifespan of each individual person is a machine called the Zenith. It's essentially a supercomputer that determines if a person should live or should die. Liane essentially is a person whose quartz isn't being controlled by the computer. It's inside herself. So therefore, she is a living proof that God does not exist. Because each person is in control of should be in control of their own lives instead of being controlled by the computer. And that's also why the church wants to kill her, because if she survives, is essentially just a gigantic headache for the church.
Don't blink or you'll miss it.
But does it have the cutscene from Star Ocean 3 when it says it's all just a video game and nothing matters? The most controversial cutscene.
Shonen will be able to answer that question better than me. What did you say your favorite cutscene for this game was, Shonen?
Sorry, I'm looking at the drops. Yeah, we got everything. Nice.
Nice.
My favorite cutscene, I think chapter 11 is very good. When you finish the chapter 13 too. The very last one is too. I think I would pick chapter 11. It's when... Okay, more lore. Sapphire has a lot of regret on himself because of what he has done to the seminary kids. He basically went on a rampage to kill everyone, but it was not totally his fault. It was another experiment by Sullivan where he got injected cells from Rebecca to try to get immortality too. Everyone on those experiments died except from Sapphire that entered on a demonic state very similar to Rebecca's. And actually Bastion had to be the one in charge of either killing him or calming him down. The second option happened because Zenith interfered in between Sapphire getting shot twice in the head. So because of all of this, on chapter 11, Sapphire fights Lagerfeld, that was the companion of Bastion on that event, and there's a fight and everything, and at the very last cutscene, he pretty much gives up and accepts his fate as he's full of regret. But Lianes saves him and shoots Lagerfeld on the back and tells him that whatever he has done in the past does not truly matter now. He has to keep living with that. It's probably, yeah, I would say that's my favorite one.
Cucumber's asking the real questions. Why isn't it the Christmas cutscene?
And the Christmas cutscene is very cute too.
It's so out of place. I love it.
Yeah. You prefer the wedding one? Yeah, for the shipping.
The Christmas cutscene is also really good. And everything about chapter 13 is really good.
Oh yeah, best chapter by far. And on chapter 13, on the last cutscene, Liane gets 2 gift presents because they consider Liane to be born on Christmas Day, because it's the day when Sapphire saved her from suicide. Okay, and metals. Okay, that's very good.
People with the right materials are always welcome.
Ooh, 63. Damn.
Dark times.
I wish this happened on our own.
I mean, this is a run.
I mean, yeah. On a run that did not get soft locked.
Yeah. How do you hold that gun? Yes.
Yep. Okay. So pretty much this was chapter 7, a very good chapter 7 in terms of drops. I got a lot of bulk anti-case, that means more extra bullets. I even got 1 extra missile that gets us materials for more bullets too. And I got the arm, so no need to load that famous backup save file. I told you, Dine, everything was under control.
I didn't doubt you at all. I had complete faith in you.
We are all masters of RNG here.
Ah, yes, the classic. Once you run out of escape hexes, you have to re-equip them again. I always forget.
Can you only hold up to 10 escape hexes? Or can you hold more?
More. Yeah, you can hold up to 9, more than... I don't know what's the limit. It's 99 the limit. I want to say it is. I do not know what's the limit on items. But yeah, I only bought 10 because I'm not gonna need more. I need only 2 for 2 mandatories, and the rest can be used anywhere. There are many places where it's not gonna be worth to equip these hexes right now. Especially chapter 10. There are so many barriers in between that if you equip them instead of escaping manually. Wow.
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 Well, I think it's safe to say you're not getting world record this marathon.
Nice.
White people sad.
You've been very unlucky with the random encounters.
999. Okay, I didn't know that.
LEC says.
Could be. Have no idea.
That's quite a high item cap.
Yeah.
I'm not complaining, it's just I wasn't expecting it.
World record is 2:37:10. Thank you, King. Okay, chapter 8 is pretty cool because we're gonna abuse getting collateral damage if possible. If we get good battles, it's really nice to see. Okay, Liane is out of the party, by the way, because she goes on a date with Pater.
This could be interesting.
Ooh la la.
Yep. Well, a paid date, basically. And Bashiron is like, take the money. But yeah.
We need to eat.
pretty much.
So here you see the collateral damage. Shonen was lining up those two enemies. He was targeting the back one. Where you basically got two enemies of damage for one gunshot. This is quite common whenever it's possible. It's just it saves you a couple of ticks on the hero gauge, and it saves a lot of attack animations as well.
Yeah, those animations are 3 seconds long. Shooting is 3 seconds long, and then you have to add the hero action and everything. So it's very nice to see there. Next variety is exactly the same, and then we're going to Patertopolis.
Chunky gangster robots.
There, I didn't get too many good shots because that gangster got launched into the air pretty early.
Getting a lot of bearborns.
They are not too rare.
It's like how Vacheron does all the work. And Zephyr is just like pew 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 and everyone just falls down.
Yeah.
Time to clean.
There's an MVP of the 3 characters. It's definitely Vash.
Totally.
He does everything. The other 2 are just the cleanup crew.
Okay, that was nice. This was a super fast room, very optimal.
Oh, nice.
We going fast here.
Yeah.
To
Overworld
make up
not
for the crash.
Overworld not so good. Battle's going A+ though.
Yeah. You can see here, empty room. You can just hero action for free.
I don't hate him.
A lot of these barriers also have a hit point, their own hit point bar. So they'll block damage up to a certain amount. It's not something like you kind of just hide behind forever.
Okay, this one is very precise too.
You gonna butt in?
Support.
One of the hardest rooms to get properly. Okay, never mind, I got full scratch them now.
Easy.
Why are you even worried?
Yeah. That's supposed to be hard, like, and very precise, like... I just got 5% lucky, but... that should be a full scrap anyway. Scratch, rather.
Change our bullet target for the human animals. And then just full scratch them and let Zephyr take care of the rest.
Yeah, during the round we could not abuse the MC Electrified Plus rounds that we got on Mine 24, because we're gonna scrap them to get the HP Incendiary Plus for the last chapter.
So we've got monsters to deal with too.
All points are more effective against organics or squishy enemies. So each ammo type is very particular what we're using for certain battles. The electrified rounds are good against enemies that are weak against electricity. There are sub-zero rounds which are good against enemies that are weak against ice. I don't think we see any toxic rounds which are good against poison.
We use them, but like we get them, but we do not use them. It's just because they're in between while unlocking the overworld.
There are several rooms. I think all of the boss rooms have this specific condition, which is you can just kill the leader and you have the text that says leader assault and the fight's just over.
Yeah, exactly.
So whenever we have a boss room that can be fully cleared by just killing the boss, we are just gonna kill the boss. We're not gonna worry about any other enemy.
This chapter was very good. Probably this chapter is my best one on PV, and it's the endless time. Nice.
Yeah, that was a solid chapter. Chapter 8.
Their mistakes for bringing tanks to an anime gunfight. I wonder if they're using the tanks as guns, though. Does that change anything?
Okay, chapter 9, Liane rejoins again. Gotta give her a weapon. And we're good to go.
So we do gain quite a few levels during the speed run. I think we're like mid-20s or mid-30s by the time we hit the end of the game.
Yeah, around 25 indeed.
As far as I know, Shonen can correct me, levels only influence your hit points and how much weight you can carry. I don't believe it influences your kind of damage at all.
You get a higher multiplier on submachine guns, depending on your level. So yeah.
So the higher level Vesheron is, the better he's going to be, essentially.
Oh man, where's the 300 times damage multiplier runs?
Yeah, exactly.
Just spend days charging up.
Like crushing a...
Yeah, you have a higher cap, and you can be like charging with Bastion forever. It's pretty linear. Like when you're level 3, your multiplier is going to be as high as 3, but it has a decimal, so it's like 3.4. There's a point where you're gonna get 2 multipliers by... where am I going? Oof, brain lag. That's what I said, that I cannot talk and play the video game. Okay. So yeah, it's not exactly just a correlated level with the multiplier, because there are times where you're gonna get 2 charges when you level up. Okay, so we're going to Antorians to unlock the battle to Lucia. and then we're good to go.
It's understandable, Red. Just because this game is so unique, you really can't pull. You don't have anything else to like kind of help you out through the game. Like all RPGs generally tend to share like some semblance between each other, but this game there is really nothing that you can really like compare it to.
Yeah, there's nothing quite like it, which makes it so interesting, to be honest.
But yeah,
The
those
last remnants.
Sorry, yeah.
Go ahead, Sean.
No, go.
Oh no, the last remnant's definitely one of those games too, where there's nothing quite like it.
Okay, so this room is pretty cool too, if it works well with the last 3 attack. But it's pretty tricky for that to work first try.
Let's get this over with. Push your
That was pretty bad.
I'm just going to get in the way here.
There we seen a retry just because we missed that one attack when we had everyone in a quite nice lineup. Oh, do we get the triple?
I think we did.
Ooh, we got the double.
No, we got the other one too. Nice. Oh!
Ooh.
I guess there was one bullet in between that. Got it.
Come on.
I like how the enemies are hiding inside the drums.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're doing it.
The weakest body armor ever.
You gotta get something.
They seen the barrels from Secret of Mana and they're like, we can make this work.
You gotta sit back and this is it. Who do you think you're
Come on, hit.
Sure. I want Liane up in the air to get more time on her hero action. Yeah, that was clean.
Yeah.
And here making this game look easy when it's anything but.
Like, it's difficult on 3 attacks to know what you want to do. Like,
Where's this sacred
depending on
sign
what
at
you're
anyway?
getting.
You'd think I'd be able to remember.
I think that's the most difficult part on the speedrun. But it's so satisfying when you get them.
That does it for them.
And for now, we're just
I'm
gonna
right behind you.
Don't forget it either.
We're pushing
get
that.
out of here. I love this strat. You you use Vashron to push Zephyr in order to get aggro, and then you just skedaddle. Or everyone is beat Zephyr.
Exactly. Exactly.
I just remembered.
What's that?
It's okay, Shallow. I've watched Shonen stream this for about 130 hours and I still have no idea what's going on.
On second thought, maybe I didn't.
It's okay. Important thing is to participate.
That's right. That's why I'm here. It's the only reason I'm here. I want that participation trophy.
We appreciate the company, Dan.
So, we'll recap the battle system again for anyone that's joining in. Machine guns do scratch damage. That's the blue damage. Scratch damage is temporary, where handguns will do permanent damage. So handguns will turn blue damage into permanent damage. So the core of the battle system is to do scratch damage and then hit them with a pistol to make that temporary damage permanent. It sounds very, very simplistic, but I think it took me about 3 months of watching Shonen to finally clue into that.
That's pretty much it, yeah. It's
a very, very simplistic battle system, but unless like you're really, really looking out for it, I don't know if there's tutorials or not, but unless you're really looking out for it, it just never really clicks.
Like, for me to start understanding how the battle worked, I had to spend like maybe 10 hours on the arena, like killing enemies. Yeah, it was not easy at all. Just because it's so different, you know.
Alright, boss of this chapter, the Jalopy Golem.
This one can go
We're
wrong.
going to break the barrier first with Zephyr and then get full splash damage and kill the boss. This is another leader assault fight.
Yeah, the way this guy behaves can be quite interesting. We can hero action right away. This hero action is super precise. You need that hero action to be there. Otherwise this strat is not working.
That wasn't so hard, was it? You're hard to miss.
Try to get our attack multiplier as high as possible so we can get the full scratch damage.
Yeah. So far I got chunk there, but that was all planned. That was clean.
It's very often that we just send one of our characters right in the middle of the enemies, so we are home free for the other two to do whatever they want.
Yeah. Okay, now gotta be careful here to not enter the barrage. Not the first time it happened. I usually put the camera to point this way just to make sure. Okay. Chapter 10. Here it's what I was talking about, that I'm not going to equip the escape hexes on the end because it would be really slow to be changing in between encounters the accessories on her, since we have to fight 3 battles. So instead we're gonna YOLO it and escape manually whatever we get. The second barrage is going to look
Get
really
lucky,
silly.
don't get random encounters.
Yeah. I agree.
This one is mandatory though, we need to kill them.
Yeah, they're blocking the bridge. So, chapter 10 and 11 are really focused on Zephyr's story, and right now you can see that he is not on the party with us. And we're going to the seminary, where Zephyr went on a rampage and killed everyone. Just to see what happened.
Essentially, from chapter 1 to chapter 10, it's essentially your clients were all part of the church and they were sending you on those missions to try and get you killed. And chapter 11 is when, from chapter 11 until the end, you have a lot more story proper.
Also, this room is pretty silly to watch.
Just stay behind the barriers and shoot them one by one.
Yep.
You wait for them to come to you.
The room that tells you sometimes you don't have to use hero action.
Yeah.
Just
Ah,
make
there
sure
you
you
are.
kill them before they kill you.
Okay,
pretty much works for a lot of the game. If you kill them before they kill you, there's not an issue.
Okay,
If it's the other way around, then you're in a world of hurt.
Yeah.
I think Shonen is in the world of hurt.
Yeah, I am. That one was wrong. Huh. That guy hid it really well behind the barrage. I had
You
to,
practiced all night for this.
and it didn't work. Feels bad. Oh well. It was not too bad. Could have been worse.
The day you first.
No, we saved it.
We have yet to see a character get into critical.
We didn't yet?
No.
Nice.
So chat,
You
place
did
your
on the
bets.
one
Whatever chapter we're on now to 16, what chapter will we see a critical?
13.
Safest bet will say will be 16. Just because it takes forever. So the 6 plus 2,746. The 6 is the damage from the handgun. The 2,746 is the damage of the scratch turning into permanent damage. So that's why we were saying scratch damage is by far the most important kind of damage. Because scratch is the bulk of your damage, and then the handguns are just making that damage stick. Why no PS4 version? Because 60 frames per second makes this a greatly different route, and no one's done it yet. No one's put in the work. The community's pretty small. There was one runner that tried. I think he gave up on chapter 5. Shonen, feel free to correct me. I know you just talked about this like 40 minutes ago.
And I don't know when he gave up, to be honest, but
Okay.
he got stuck, I think, on chapter 2 because of the AI behavior on the Tesla tortoise. And I think I don't know anything else about that route, TBH.
And also no PS4 because Shonen doesn't own a PS4.
And there's no category
It's
in the
hard.
leaderboards.
It's hard to run a game when you don't have the console.
Well, that's true, but also there are no leaderboards for that game. There are only
No, but-
leaderboards for the original console.
I can do this.
Wow, that encounter just right before the sanctuary.
My tail between my legs isn't really my thing.
Yeah, for some reason the HD remaster that the PS4 got and the PC2 are not available on speedrun.com. I guess it's because people didn't pay too much attention to those games. On
I'm thinking
speedrun.
it's just no one's. It's thinking it's one of those things where it's you just don't make a category until the route's done.
Yeah,
I know a couple of games like Persona did that with their new game plus, like, because you always got those people that are like, "Hey, I'm interested in this category," and then they just never do anything with it, or they'll do like one shanty run where it's probably like 6 hours longer than it should be.
hmm Okay, so that was chapter 10.
Chapter 10 is very short.
Yeah, 11 is the shortest one too.
Yeah, 11 is just a single boss fight.
hmm
We get Zephyr back, equip him, and then go kill a boss.
Yeah, probably is one of the hardest fights on the run too. I think it's also the most interesting one because Sapphire is literally level 1 on submachine gun, and you have to use that and one grenade box that he is also level 1 with. It's literally going with nothing on Sapphire.
And I think this is the only the only chapter where you only have one character.
Yeah, it is. So here we're gonna manipulate Lagerfeld to use the sword attack because he is not teleporting when you're shooting him with that. And we're gonna shoot him once only on the back here.
You're about to learn something very interesting, Zephyr.
Thanks. I'm only here to kill you.
This battle is just a pretense to tell you the truth.
What truth?
Zephyr, you may be guided, but you were never alone.
The ammo's gonna go a lot further now. You don't wanna miss
As you can see, Zephyr is struggling, but he cannot deal nearly as much damage, scratch damage as Vacheron,
Yeah.
just because his submachine gun level is so abysmal compared to Vash.
Yeah, you can see because of being level 6 right now, I can only reach a level 6 multiplier.
I see. This is just the beginning.
Yeah, once again, the characters will gain just natural levels, but they'll also gain what levels for their weapon affinity or their damage affinity, whether it's grenades, handguns, or submachine guns. And Bashir, up until now, has been getting all of his levels under handguns. So that's why he's not really as efficient as Vashon is, or Bashir. I've already forgotten his name.
No worries.
Vacheron.
Here, let's go with that.
Okay. That's a lot.
Yeah. And that's the fight. Very well played.
Thank you. No, you.
No, you.
I don't play this game.
Not yet.
Huh?
We'll get you into it.
Not with that attitude.
You bully me into making this work for PC.
I'll bully anyone to anything. It saves me from doing it.
Oh yeah, what Felicie says, when you level up, you're fully recovering HP. That's very good for Lagerfield. Otherwise, we will have a lot of trouble. I think we didn't mention it. It's also very important for Basilica, now that you pointed out. On chapter 16, there's one strat, the Antorion strat, where we need Vacheron to reach level 27. Otherwise, you're gonna get into critical condition. That was a good Twitch chat comment. Very nice.
Just remember the 5 Ds of dodging. Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge.
Any difference between running this on PS3 versus PC? Yes, 60 FPS makes the entire game run differently.
Also lack of lag.
If you need anything else, you know where to find me.
So we're going to
AI behavior is
do a
also...
little bit of menuing, and now head to
the square
mission
garden.
spot.
Yeah. Level 1. Level 2, rather. So here we just got the Electro Grenade CX and the HP Incendiary Rounds Plus because of scrapping the MC Electrified Plus that gives us Powder Yell EX. I got 22, I do not have to sacrifice any extra shot, so that's nice. I got to go the Bone Crystals that gives us Crystalline Fires on chapter 3 too. So no issues for now. You're gonna see how powerful the electrified grenades are in this chapter. Like, they are super good against machine types of enemies.
Oh yeah, I remember this chapter.
Yeah. Actually, this chapter also has Vacheron solo. Yep. It's a very silly chapter too. It's the wedding chapter with Sapphire and Liane. PC,
I think casually you'll do fine with PC.
yeah, I think actually
Yeah.
anything is good for you.
Actually, I'd say PS3 or sorry, PS4 or PC would be the way to go. It really just depends on which platform you enjoy playing it on. Casually, like it's not much of a difference.
Yeah, not at all.
60 FPS will be a little smoother in terms of animation, just because you have twice as much frames, but it's nothing that's going to like completely drastically change the game between those platforms.
Yeah, the reason why I play on PS3 is because the resources from speedrun.com are OG console based. Like, there's nothing about PC or PS4.
We're not refilling our hero action with breaking barriers because we don't need to.
Whoa.
This boss is a cakewalk.
Well, except if you run into them.
Yikes.
Bonk.
Yeah, structures are another type of boss. Yeah, there's no PC on the leaderboard. Feels bad, man.
It's like we were talking about earlier. It's probably just because no one's done a run on PC. I'm pretty sure if they're like once there's the interest, I don't see why the board wouldn't be made. I'm also not a mod. I'm just going off just general speedrun behavior. If there's no interest, you generally just don't make a category until there is interest. With the community being so small, just no one's really put in the work for it.
Yeah.
And the 3 grenades kill the dragonfly. That's how broken they are. You don't even scratch damage. You just pop 3 and he's down.
Hey Remy, what's up? But yeah, pretty much PC World Record is free, for sure. Just get
Not
the category.
free because you can plug in this route and do PC.
Thinking emoji. That was a weird dragonfly behavior. Usually it doesn't come so close, but didn't really matter at all.
Alright,
long-
best chapter.
Best shelter, by far. As long as you are hero action under the dragonfly, you're good to go with the stripe. It's not free, I gotta buy the game.
5 brain.
True enough. Okay. So here we go, it's Christmas time.
Like the animations are still very, very smooth for being on like Xbox 360 or PS3. And like menus pretty much operate the exact same. It's if the port's done good, it's hard to tell between the difference. If anything, like you mostly see it maybe in menus. Like some menus at a higher frame rate might have slightly less lag.
So this chapter is very special. Like we're forgetting right now about the submachine guns, the handguns, and everything. Like you will see.
Yeah.
Just forget about everything you've learned right now. This is a different video game at this point.
I feel money exploits on older versions. If the glitch is there, use it. As long as it's in the arbitrary rules of the run.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's differences between exploits and glitches. That's really up for the community to decide. There's always going to be like the purist group that's like, hey, you can't do anything that you can't do casually, where some people are like, well, if they're going to allow me to do it, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, pretty much right. Like right now you can see Bashiron and Zephyr are these guys as deers. And Liane,
Rangers.
yeah, and Liane is disguised as Santa. Because of that, Liane is going to be the one to deal more damage, which is not damage because we are not like killing people.
We don't do damage to the children.
Yeah,
This is the best chapter.
by far. She has more gift power. Let's say that. However, so that's why we're using her.
He throws boxes at the kids' faces harder and faster.
Yep.
Kashan is worried about them, so he just kind of leisurely underhands them to him, where Liane just treats everything like a grenade.
Yeah, this looks like the silliest chapter ever. Like, this is so out of context, but it's one of the most intense lore-wise. You will see later.
I love it just because it's so out of place.
Yeah, me
Like,
too.
you'd never expect it.
It'd be hard if someone gave me Christmas gift opening flips. Oh yeah, for sure.
Merry Christmas!
Hope you like it. Yeah, the goal for all of these rooms is essentially make sure that every single child has a box on their hands.
Well, that was unlucky.
Bonk.
Bonk. Yeah,
It's funny,
that can
I'm more
happen.
nervous on this job than I've
The
ever
first time I see that with this first hero action, though. Now I'm scared of something new.
That's
Fantastic.
the spirit. Our little Leanne, making grown-up dreams come true.
Merry Christmas!
Okay. This one will work better. There were kids that, like, blocked Liane because they were pretty fast, so I bonked. And if you're in between at least 3 kids, you're gonna get stunned. That's why I retried. And yeah, it's super slow.
Merry Christmas! Take good care of it.
That's perfect. You're an absolute vision.
Chapter 4 sucks. Yeah, it has a lot of RNG with the very first 2 rooms.
It's not important. Satisfying the client is.
Merry Christmas!
Oh yeah, like the arena, you're wasting a lot of time when trying to get a good arena. Like it takes a lot of hours for sure.
Looks like they enjoyed that.
Oh, I thought I detected a hint of murder.
This is weird without context.
What context?
It is, and that's why we love it.
Just enjoy it.
Yeah, the hero actions, the first hero action is pretty precise. The rest is pretty much hero actioning depending on what the kids give you with the position.
Yeah, you don't want to bonk into the kids,
Not
but
at
you
all.
also want them to follow you so you can give them faster.
I picture this is how every Christmas is normally.
I
Just throwing
remember.
gifts down the chimney as fast as he can.
Santa has to go all around the world in a single night. If that isn't speedrunning, I don't know what it is.
That had the little ones laughing. They're harder to hit than they look.
Wouldn't it have been easier to deliver this?
This is big speedrunning changed my mind. I agree.
Merry Christmas! Hope you like it. Take good care of it.
Hey, that kid stole that girl's gift.
Yeah, that can happen when one kid gets in between.
That's it.
Like it. Take good care of it. Merry Christmas!
How many more? I feel a bit like the Pied Piper.
What's that?
Yeah, getting 5 stars on the arena takes quite a lot of time, but I think it's required for the platinum.
Time we wrap this up with the action.
I hate when plat trophies are like that. Just like an unnecessarily large amount of grinding.
Yeah.
Take care of it.
Also,
Oh,
yeah.
hey, that wall stole the box.
Yeah, that can happen. Like when you throw a gift and there's a structure in between, the structure is going to take it to the Shadow Realm.
The box didn't even have a chance to spawn on the ground. The Shadow Realm's like, thank you.
I got mine.
Santa loves me. He really loves me.
There's plenty for everybody. What is it? What is it?
Here you
Catch.
Plat trophies that need grind. Would you like to get these 999 soul seeds?
That was my bad.
To be fair, Dragon Quest 1 is just nothing but a very large grind.
Merry Christmas. Catch.
Nah, that kid stole the gift there.
That's okay, he deserves it.
Everyone gets a gift, even if it's stolen.
Hope you like it. Take good care of it. Merry Christmas. Hope you like it. Catch. Take good care of it. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Hope you like it.
Okay, and that's it, I guess. Nice. Not bad. The only noteworthy thing was that bonk in the second or third room. But other than that, everything was pretty smooth.
You want to explain a little bit of why this chapter is so important lore-wise?
Yeah, right now you could see, before skipping the cutscene, that Liane gets 2 presents. Those are gifts from Bashiron and Sapphire because they consider the Christmas day to be Liane's birthday, because they do not know when the experiment was created, of course. That day was when Sapphire saved Liane from suicide. She tried to end her life because she knew about the experiments, and that Juris was on trouble because he tried to save her and free her from all the experimentation. And right now it's pretty intense because right now, entering Basilica, Liane goes, talks to Rowan, and leaves, like in front of all the cardinals, which is pretty heavy. Rowan is the one in charge of all the cardinals, by the way, and the final boss of the game.
You gotta add a special flair to it. You can't just hand out gifts, that's boring. Plus, Liane, for the last 13 chapters, has been practicing her backflips just for this occasion.
Okay, so that's about chapter 13, and we're getting to chapter 14, right?
Getting close to the end.
Only
okay.
3 chapters left, and one of them is 14, which is insanely short.
And then 16, which is insanely long.
Yes.
16 is pretty fun. This chapter, I think, is the only one where we're going to go empty-handed with Bashiron. There's a section where you go empty-handed with Liane too, in chapter 7, but you do not do anything with her. Here we're getting Liane back into the group again.
So much back and forth.
So much, man. Like, would
So
be
much
nice.
cardio. No wonder they're so thin. You need to get your characters a sandwich.
Yeah.
They've been running around for the last 3 hours without any nourishment. And then again, Leanne went on a date, so she got a free dinner, but...
Right, yeah. Okay, it's funny because on that chapter Pater dies. I'm out.
Oh, spoilers.
Yeah, I know. You had to know. He basically dies on a pretty stupid way. Like, he punches one gremlin with the ring containing his quartz, and the quartz breaks, and he dies.
Oh.
Yeah.
They really get the money's worth out of the overworld.
Oh yeah. We're getting a very important type of ballet there, the armor piercing. We're gonna use them on chapter 16 and versus the final boss.
There are a lot of things that go into the route specifically for Basilica.
Let's keep this professional.
Yeah.
Time to clean house.
How does this one work again?
I'd venture to say Sullivan and Rowan had a little falling out.
Fine with me. I don't trust either one of them. But if they did anything to Eurus, they'll regret it.
Zephyr, Vashon, all the courage I have, I owe to you.
Strong lead.
Also quick to mention, I have no defensive equipment right now, or during the whole run. Like, all of our characters are tanking damage with the chest, basically. Okay, another encounter.
Whatever's happening, it isn't good.
This isn't worth getting killed over. Wipe that worried look off your face. Running away with my tail between my legs isn't really my thing.
Okay, so right now we're gonna get the
I hope we can
good
find
submachine gun,
something
the
to put up a fight.
PWD. I tried to cut this from the root because that means we could cut unequipping the accessories from the submachine gun, the SMG. The thing is that the base stats from this one are very good. You have a very high speed base weapon and very good acceleration too. So yeah, gotta deal with that extra mini sadly.
And this is another boss that will just die to 2 hand grenades. That's why we are being liberal with the hero's actions.
What do you mean, Red? They're like Naruto runners, just discounted. Bashan's got the head forward for the aerodynamics.
Okay, so there we go. I'm worried about Leon's HP. She got pretty low.
He's fine. I have all the faith.
Actually, she healed, never mind. Yeah, that's true. It was just a prank. No. Camera, do your thing, okay.
And
that's
if the hero action properly, hit him with 2 grenades and it dies.
Yeah, very straightforward chapter. Like the time losses are due to either encounters, getting into critical status on the level room. Like that one is very tricky because of how many enemies are there. You can get AI that decides to target Bashiron, and that's pretty unlucky. Anyway, we're done with that. We're gonna go to the base again, and we're gonna go up again. So, time to read donations, right?
And we're doing a upgrade shop.
That will be the last one of the run.
Yeah, we did that on chapter 12, no more shops.
You in your notes it says 15.
I did. Well, I was lying.
Yes.
Damn, I'm
It says
sorry.
add multi-barrel high mount sights, 1 rookie sight.
Isn't that the menu?
I don't know, man. It just says add.
It's a menu. It's not a shop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a menu. I do a
All right.
menu there.
I was wrong. I'm sorry, chat. We're going to do a menu.
Nah, I take the blame. I was not specific.
If you didn't think we had enough barrels on our guns before, just you wait.
Nah, like we're going to replace our accessories with the other submachine gun right now. Okay, all gone.
I love the upgrade for this weapon.
It does not look like a weapon anymore.
It is not.
No.
It looks like a thing.
I like how you can put like 3 or 4 different clips on it too.
Yeah,
Just keep linking them all together. It's like Legos.
pretty much. But yeah, up until this point, the most important bullet, even though the other one is by far the armor piercing, is going to be the HP Incendiary Round Plus. Right now, we're going to melt 1 leader from Sullivan's place, and then up to the last chapter.
All barrels, no clip. Just intimidation tactics everywhere.
This is another leader assault fight, so we just will scratch this guy, kill it, and all of the others are gonna be way too scared to do anything against us.
You can see that one enemy that Basharon hit is occasionally popping up blue 214s. That's the fire damage.
Mhm.
So on enemies that have like a very, very high hit point barrier, you can inflict Inferno and kind of just run them around and have the Inferno damage just kind of tick. For some enemies, obviously like that guy, it's not worth it because you can do infinitely more damage with your gun than the 214 every second from the Inferno damage. But as Sean was mentioning, like near the, I think it's the final boss or second last final boss or third last final boss or one of the final bosses.
A lot of them on Basilica.
Yeah, all of them.
It'll be doing like 3,000 to 4,000 damage a second.
Yeah.
Which is just infinitely more than the submachine gun can do, even with its 300 barrels.
And we are just going to use the electric grenades to take care of all of these rooms now.
The grenades don't require scratch damage. Grenades is basically like a submachine gun and a pistol wrapped into an explosive ball. They don't worry about scratch damage. They'll just inflict permanent damage.
And yeah, like that, we just run out of electro grenade CX. We need exactly 8 to continue the run. So yeah, that was chapter 15. To the base again. And very important, to make sure that you link the terminal right on Basilica. Otherwise you're losing that 2 times damage on the incendiary passive, and it's so costly. You definitely cannot kill there.
There are some rooms that you can skip on Basilica, but most of them we are going to have to fight our way through in order to activate switches or be able to even get to the exit.
Yeah.
And this is the final. It is the hardest chapter in the game. Not only is it hard to execute, it's also an RNG fiesta. There's a lot going on here.
Just get lucky. The game is free.
Every time.
The thing is that if we do not get the passive on bosses especially, it's pretty much a retry. Like, it's a retry before. Like, you do not have enough damage input or output or time to kill.
It's kind of like one of those things where we've looked like we've been pretty overpowered for a vast majority chunk of the run, but we're still pretty overpowered, but we do need a lot of things to go our way.
Exactly.
Because it's very, very easy to get into critical status with our party members in this area, just because everyone here hits like a truck. You're not really supposed to be here at like level 25. All games are free. Just get lucky. So that's all there is to it. Just get lucky.
The best strat, just get lucky.
It's often better to get lucky than it is to be good.
Not wrong.
Listen up. We may have to work for this one.
So we can see on the right-hand side again how many different rooms there are in this. I'm trying to think. In this area.
The dungeon.
Yeah. And there's a couple of them. We will be going into the side rooms to activate switches to progress us forward. We are looking to get to the tip. But this area is just endless cattle cave of one thing after another after another.
Yeah, we have a, sort of mantra on the 13 community, which is it's faster to not die than it's slower to die than not to die. So just don't die. This is the first boss of Basilica, Carigliano.
So we're looking for that passive right next to the main HP. We didn't get it with the first shot. Let's see the second. We got it. So yeah, now we're gonna be wiggling around with Zephyr and then hero action and kill.
The gentle trappings of
It's gonna look dumb, but it works.
Steel of the battlefield.
I'm as
Yeah, we can see here that just
every bit.
it's doing such good damage and we don't have to use any of our hero actions.
And that's it. First boss. There's a time where the passive runs out. Sometimes we throw another shot after getting the passive just to get a refresh. Just one bullet refreshes the passive. Happens on Antorion and on Rowan. If we get a very late passive with the last bullets. Okay. So to the first switch. Yeah, he was. We were wiggling around, so that guy was forward.
I see right through you.
Nothing left when I finish with you.
Also, pretty much every room is going to look so scary on HP, because I do not have defensive equipment.
Yeah, we're very glass cannon,
Yeah, totally.
as you can just see there.
Yeah. We are incredibly under level for this part of the run. Or rather, this part of the game.
That's how it is. You don't want
Remember to press the switch. Not the first time it happens. Okay, so now very important to hero action when this guy is shooting. Right now. We want Zephyr to be somehow good on HP.
rest until every threat is new.
These acrobatics are 100% necessary.
Yeah, it would not run the game otherwise.
Now unpacking.
They've worked very hard on their routine.
Okay. Nice.
Now unpacking heat.
So yeah, that middle part can block bullets.
I'm about to say, you got blocked pretty good there.
Yep, it can happen. Very annoying. But like the animations up in there are slower, so I just rather keep myself on the ground.
I think 55 is probably about the place the game expects you, probably a little higher, because you're generally just going to probably be fighting everything, doing a lot of the side quests or the optional content.
Okay.
Have you not seen how many barrels we have on our gun, Red? Also, this guy's made of plaster. It's aluminum foil.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Antorion
They're
is
just there
interesting.
to look scary.
We're
Antorion,
not gonna handle this one, but pretty soon.
Antorion is interesting because we need a level up on Bastion, otherwise we get into critical status, we'll see.
I never thought we'd
You'll see.
end up facing each other. Give us room. An old man's way.
Okay, got a first try, that's fantastic. And
Nice.
first bullets too, that's really good. And now we need the level up.
Shame it was all
Level 26, not 27, my bad.
relic from a time that's ending.
We like to, Basharon. Victor, Teresa, Golem. Do not let anyone tie a leash on your hands. That's That's why it falls to me to tie the noose.
And we don't really need this shot, we can say.
Nice.
To absolve
Yeah,
you of your
you can see that I just went up to full HP when I was like one tick away from getting into critical status. Super important to get that shot properly in between the barriers, otherwise you're not gonna reach it.
impossibly strong.
Very, very precise. I would say that's probably the most precise shot in the whole run, actually.
That a spear or a gun? ¿Por qué no los dos?
That was in you.
¿Por qué no
It's
los
an
dos?
electric spear gun. They seen Final Fantasy VIII and was like, we can top the gun blades.
I like how Zephyr was literally on top of Antorion after the kill.
You didn't do the BMT bag.
Yeah, no, T-Bag, I was thinking about that. Not an epic gamer. Okay. So yeah, one setup that took me like poof, so much time to figure out to get something not too bad going with this. Okay, we're gonna literally launch Liane to her death.
So Leanne's gonna bonk against this switch. If we're lucky, both of these giant robots will be targeting Leanne. So we can just get straight bullet line damage, and Leanne's also just close to a switch to hit. So here we're just gonna try to line them up again.
This is looking good so far.
That was lucky.
Nope.
Yeah.
Oh, first condition critical. Reset.
Reset. Time to run again. Okay, so I'm shonen, I'm running. I'm running
So in this
resources.
game, there's two kinds of damage. We'll be doing No Game Plus, which doesn't change anything.
There we go.
There. This one should be on free.
Nice.
Liane
And
did
I've already lost my place in the notes.
Don't worry. Liane did a great job holding her breath there, saying this is
good.
fine.
Good
No
job, Leanne.
worries. I believe in Bashiram. It's okay.
New Game Plus just increases enemy HP and it goes up every cycle. I wonder if your attack power going up also just makes the HP irrelevant. So here we got Zephyr just standing on the switch to put up a barricade. So he's got a nice little safety corner to sit in.
Yeah. Well,
If
that
he's-
takes care of scratch damaging these two.
If he stands off of it, the barricade will go down.
I can reach your every
Okay, that was so weird. Oh no.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Usually that guy should punch, not go for that attack.
He did the triple punch.
Yeah. The one that I do not like. As you can see, quite a lot of RNG in this place.
These guys, when they also deal damage, it's depending on their attack, it's line damage.
Okay. This might take a while.
Oh, we got to Liang this
Yeah,
time.
that's
Yeah.
also very rare.
This
Like,
is a very tricky room.
The hitbox is so strange in this place. That shouldn't ever keep playing, but it can. Yeah, seems like I'm gonna get a lot of things going on.
You're hard to miss.
There we go.
Too slow. Game over.
Okay, this time they both go down.
That can happen. It's quite unfortunate, but yeah, that's a thing, sadly. Okay, there we wiggle around to change AI behavior, so this guy is targeting the aim there.
Get as much attack power as possible, and then kill them both.
Yeah.
Love all the damage values.
Come on. Thank you.
And we're almost done with the run. Just need to hero action through a couple of empty rooms, and we're on the final boss.
Correct, up to Rowan.
Oh, Big Boy really wants to get to Vash.
Yeah.
Yeah, Drum is really important to time your hero action as that attack starts, so you are invulnerable. Okay. So, not a terrible Basilica. Well, for a PB run it is, but for Marathon it was not bad at all. Yes.
And time is coming up soon.
Yeah, well, the timer should end after the credits.
Oh yeah, I forgot the credits.
Yeah. We can talk
Damn this game.
Yeah. I didn't make up the rules, I promise.
Rowan is exactly the same as the other bosses. We need that incendiary passive in order to even be able to kill him.
Instead of shooting Zephyr directly, he just decides to do collateral damage.
Okay.
This is no schoolyard brawl. I want to see blood, child.
I have
How is he not in critical?
shouting at all.
Because we have a lot of rubies.
There we go. Incendiary passive.
And you can see it doing 4,400 damage a second.
I know our fate isn't written in stone.
Which is a lot more than Vash can do, and Vash is the one who's doing the most.
Yeah. Critical condition, unlucky. Got targeted only aim. Usually when Rowan is so aggressive, it's bad news.
It's just bad RNG.
Killed in a rage-fueled frenzy gonna rattle out all you like. Only a hard-fought death holds the meaning I crave. I know the sins you committed, child.
Sin is living.
Exactly. Kill or be killed. Not so unlike you and I.
Nice. On that section, it did not have enough time.
You'll be shouting it all the way down to hell.
Leave you in stitches. Your judgment is here, heretic.
Okay. So now, time to finish this one. As you can see, that guy is now targeting Bashiron instead of Leon, so it was free.
And you know what we do with traitors.
Okay, and that was the last boss.
And that's Ruin.
GG.
GG.
Okay, so the timer ends after the credits. There's one last input, and the timer ends there. So I guess I'm going to use these 10 minutes to talk about what the potential time saves on the run could be. Like, the run has no step counter or encounter manipulation, so finding a way to get a step counter would be really great for the game. I'm trying to get something going, but I still couldn't find anything. Another thing that I think it could be possible is here on Basilica you could see that I had to press 4 switches to advance on 2 different doors. I feel like clipping through them is possible. I was messing around with the one that has a God Hammer and trying to get punched and get thrown to the next room. It feels like it's doable. I got like part of Bashiron's body to go through there, but yeah, nothing that could 100% work. Yeah, thank you for EGs, everyone. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Route-wise, you could see Basilica is pretty heavy on RNG, depending on AI behavior and getting the passives the way you want. Probably the worst room can be the 2 God Hammers with Incendiaries. Depends a lot on what the first God Hammer does. Like, if it hits only Zephyr, it should be always the case, it's not a problem, but sometimes that hitbox can also hit Liane and she gets into critical status. But it's alright. All's good. The game does not have a community by itself, like there's no Discord or anything, but there are a couple of notes with the Takeshi route, which is pretty heavy RNG on drops. I created notes too, but they are not uploaded. Like, if someone is interested into learning this game, I can throw them to you, no problem. On the leaderboards, I think there are only 8 runs or so. World record is super good. 2:37 10 seconds is such a great time. It's been there for 6 years, I think. My PB is 2:38.05, which is 55 seconds away. I'm grinding for it. I have some good time saves on Basilica, chapter 14 and chapter 6 are my biggest, so definitely the way this route works, it's possible to get it. And I don't know, I don't have anything else to say. Thank you for the commentary, guys. I know you're not very familiar with the game, but very well done. And it was great.
Always a pleasure to help.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, and thanks for having us on RPG Limit Breaker.
It's nice to show off this game. It is a very niche game. And it's nice to
Yeah,
have a big platform like this to show it off.
Especially I feel like I didn't get a good show on the last TSA marathon because of that previous route that was very heavy on drops and you know, a lot of retries, a lot of backups needed for that. But you can see, like, this time...
Because this is such a new game, it's so interesting to watch. It's different.
Yeah, the way the level system works and the accessories is unique. Like, you're not equipping more attack or more defense or more speed. You're equipping gun-related status, like speed, acceleration, or gun capacity. Yeah. Yeah, timer ends as soon as these crates end, and there's one last input where...
The HD version is very different because of reduced lag frames and also because of the 60 frames per second.
Yeah,
So that makes AI behave differently. For a casual playthrough, it's fine still, but the speedrun has to be completely rerouted to take into account all of those differences, and no one has done it so far.
Exactly. Basically, the easiest thing to do is like get into the console route because there are resources more than anything else. It's not a matter of being PC slower because of random reason, it's because of like it has not been studied basically more than anything else.
Oh, they already stopped the timer. It's okay. It's still
Oh.
going in our hearts.
It's still going in our hearts. Hey, I do have
That's
my
all that
splits.
matters.
Hey, I can count for you. Listen, it's 2 hours, 39, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. But yeah. I don't know if like we are behind, we can cut it here. I don't have anything else to add. Like, I think we're behind.
High Spirit, you heard the man. Get us off the air.
Oh yeah, no problem. High spirits.